So, I've been playing Overwatch since the start of Overwatch 2, you
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, and I fell in love with the game. I've been playing for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and so it came to a point where I was like a DPS player, and then I still am. I flex, but then I
Mm-hmm.
came to playing support, and then I got into rank. I landed in bronze, and then I got out of it, and then it came to a point where I was struggling a lot in silver and everything like that. And I noticed, like, I watch a lot of educationals, and
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of videos, your streams as well,
Mm-hmm.
and your everything you post on the second channel.
Mm-hmm.
And so mostly I'm like a Kiriko main. Like I put a lot of hours in Kiriko, and I feel like I feel like I've made a lot of progress, and like I feel like I do well, but then there's certain aspects where I keep making the same mistakes that I almost made in bronze. I feel like,
Yeah.
if that makes
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. I understand that. I think I will encourage you with this. I think there's a misconception that like good players don't make the same mistakes twice, but it's a total lie. Because
sense.
if you think about it, like your ability to like you make a mistake, right? You learn from that mistake. But the problem is a lot of our actions in life aren't like necessarily like consciously chosen. They're just habits, things that we do, right? If I were to like slap you in the face, right? You might try and slap me. You might try and slap me back, right? Why? Are you an angry or mean person? No, it's just like your first gut reaction, right? So to train yourself to not slap back, might take some practice, right? Right. So
Yeah.
like, let's say like you're moving from bronze to silver. Obviously, you've built a lot of really good habits. You probably understand the game better. You also are more skilled, so that's awesome. But there's still a lot of things that you haven't quite fully broken the bad habit or built new good habits. And so, what I would say for you is be patient with yourself, and you're
Mhm.
not weird, unusual, or stupid because you're making the same mistakes. You just haven't quite
Yeah.
built the skill set up yet, and that will take a lot of dedicated practice.
Mm. Yeah.
Have you
By
ever?
the time I think.
Yeah, no. Go ahead. Finish your
Oh,
thought.
oh yeah. By the time I sent the request in, I think I was silver, but I did make it into gold.
You see, there you
But it's
go.
like there's a whole nother issue with that. I don't know. It's funny.
How so? What new issue?
I don't know. It feels like I'll apply what I learned in the previous rank, but then like I said, some other things come up, and then I'm like I said, repeating those mistakes, but
Sure.
also sort of I think like starting other mistakes that I didn't even look
Yeah,
at.
yeah, yeah. I
New things
understand that.
come out.
I understand
Yeah.
that. Well, there's two reasons why that's the case. Number one, you're playing at a higher level now. Like now,
Mhm.
congratulations, you're an average player. Okay, you're better than half of the player base. Okay, which means that these players are going to start punishing you for things that you didn't even think about before. Okay, like right
Boy.
you're going to be caught making mistakes that you're like, man, I didn't even think that was a thing that they were going to do to me, right? But the other thing too, as well, is you've described yourself as somebody who's relatively studious of the game, right? So
Yes.
as your understanding of the game improves, as you get better, as you watch more videos and apply that knowledge, you're not gonna be willfully, gladly, gleefully ignorant anymore. You're like,
No.
crap, I suck at so many things, man. Like that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's good if you can not lose confidence off of that. Let's put it that way.
I see that. Yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes I do feel like I do lose a little bit of the confidence when like I mess up like
Right,
really
right,
bad.
right. But you got to
'Cause I
objectively look at it, right? You got to objectively
Yeah.
look at it. I think that like what rank did you start at? Like bronze 5, bronze 4, like initially?
Oh yeah. So I
Yeah.
started at bronze 2, and then I went all the way down to bronze 5 for like I think 6 seasons,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then because I came to a point where I started losing confidence in myself because of that, and then I was in there for so long that I was like, I don't want to play ring, and then I kept going back and forth with ring, if that makes
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
because I became like a quick play warrior, but then I got back into it, and eventually it was like that one season. I think it was season 8 or something like that, or maybe season 7, where I started like playing ranked like I never played it before. Like disregarding sort of what rank I am and just more so just keep playing because I know eventually like it'll equal out.
Right.
Like play enough games and you'll start to you'll not only improve but I started to also learn that can't you can't just avoid ranks because that's the best way to improve. Just like there's
Yeah.
no other
Yeah.
way around it.
Yeah. So it sounds like your skill got better as a result of your mentality shift.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and it's still that's another thing is I feel like my mentality still needs a little bit of work. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it makes sense. I mean, it's like any other
Yeah.
skill, right? It's not like, oh, my mentality's fixed. No, I mean, like it's like game skill. It's a constant learning new things that I can improve on. And even in my life, right, like outside of Overwatch, like as I learn more and more about coaching and teaching and stuff, I'm always like reevaluating my life and being like, man, I need to get better at this, I need to get better at that. And just because as I learn more, like your gameplay, I start to see more errors, right?
Oh yes.
It applies to everything
Exactly.
though. But so you went from a bronze 5 player to where you are. Where are you right now? Like gold 5, gold 4?
I went all the way to gold 3. Now I'm gold 4.
Okay, so gold 4.
I went down a little bit. Yeah.
So for context here, you went from like a bottom 2% player to like a 50% player. Like that is a massive improvement. I want to put that in context for you. Massive improvement. So
Thank
I know
you.
you're still like, oh, I'm in metal ranks. I've only climbed 2 ranks. Yeah, but you did it at like the bell curve here. You went from the very, very bottom of the bell curve to like right turning the corner to being above average player. That's huge. Like in any other context, that's like the equivalent of like failing the class, like getting an F minus, and then all of a sudden now you're getting C pluses, right? That's huge. That's really, really good. That's a massive improvement. So seriously, like you should feel really good about that. That's remarkable, and also you should applaud yourself for doing so from a mentality shift because most people come into these VOD reviews and they're like looking for like gameplay advice, right? And I'm great. I love that. I love gameplay advice. Love it. But the thing is, as you've probably learned, is that the most important thing you can do to rank up is shift your mindset.
Yes. Yes. That has changed a lot for me.
For some
If I
people,
didn't
it's
think
like
I was gonna get out of
right.
bronze, it was never gonna happen.
Exactly. For some people, it's like it's tilt. For some people, it's like being scared of ranked. I was just like you. My main mindset problem was like I had a lot of like ranked anxiety, and I was a quick light warrior. That was exactly me. I was the exact same rank. I was like bronze, silver. I was just really scared of ranked, and then I just like bit the bullet. Right. Some people, it's like ego or things get distracted or they're stressed or they're hero pull, but like a lot of like ranking up is just like making yourself like a better competitive athlete, for lack of a better term, like cleaning up your competitive mindset and then applying that. And when you do that, now you can focus on gameplay and strategy because now you'll actually learn. But like if we had this VOD review and you were still stuck in bronze and avoiding ranked, nothing would really matter outside of you just need to play ranked more, bro. You just need to play ranked more. So now, right. Now go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, I understand. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Perfect. So what do you hope to get out of this session? I am looking forward to improving my mechanics. Okay, so talk to me about mechanics. Why is it the first thing that comes to mind?
Okay, so that's a funny thing. I feel like my aim is pretty good, but when it comes to me being under pressure, it's I don't know. It's something's weird. Like it depends on the game. Like this one VOD review I have for you is I played really like kind of poorly, but the previous game before that I was doing really well. So it was like I was hitting my shots and all that, but out of nowhere I go into another match and then for some reason I'm kind of fumbling with my positioning and then like how I'm hitting my shots. Like on support, I'm kind of like a DPS support. I can't help it, but
Yeah.
like I heal a lot too. But also I have like a how you say a heal bot problem as well. So
Yeah,
it's sort
I
of
get
like
you.
that's another mechanic that I want to improve on because like I play a lot of Kiriko and Lucio and everything like that. But I have like a heal botting problem, especially when the games are going poorly. I find myself defaulting to heel botting like I did in bronze, if that makes sense.
Now, why do you think that's the case? That's very normal, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like instantly my mind goes to, oh, we're losing. Maybe I'm not healing enough. Or
Right.
I start thinking about what my teammates are going to going to believe. Like, oh,
Yes.
Kiriko's throwing. She's not healing. I'm reporting Kiriko or this and that and the other.
Yeah.
Why is he over there when she could be healing me?
Yeah.
That's a big mindset thing that's like preventing me
Yep.
from,
Let me tell you a story.
going.
So once upon a time back in 2020, I was coaching for Boston Uprising Academy, which was an Overwatch League's academy team. And the team had like a scouting management disaster. I was put into a really difficult position as a head coach, and I was too inexperienced at the time to be able to handle that difficulty. I worked really hard. Like I'm talking literally 90-hour weeks for months on end. And the more we lost, the more that we underperformed, the more that I put into time like reviewing and coaching more and more and more. And there was this little voice in the back of my head that said, yo, nobody's reviewing this much. Nobody is coaching this much. It's probably not the issue here. The problem is probably confidence or roster or people trying too hard or overthinking things. You should probably lay off a little bit and just make sure that you're doing things cleanly and efficiently and not like forcing things. But I didn't do it. And you know why I didn't do it? Because I was scared. Because I didn't want people to think that I wasn't working hard and that I was the reason that we were losing. I was too scared of what people would think that like, okay, if we're losing, I'm at least going to lose over coaching. I was so scared that I would almost rather us lose and me still be quote unquote working hard than me to take the risk and probably do the right thing and risk maybe looking bad as somebody that wasn't doing enough. Does that sound familiar? I would rather play it safe and just heal more than go, hang on, is this really going to help us win? I was scared of my teammates flaming me. Okay?
Yeah.
So I did the safe thing, even though I knew it wasn't going to change anything. And then I knew, like, if you think deep down, maybe I'm not healing enough. You know you're going to lose the game. You know you're going to lose the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Y'all end up losing anyway. So, and it didn't really help anything.
But avoids like the worst case scenario. It like helps you deflect some of the criticism because you can always go, but look at my heal number. Look, I really healed, right? But like, see, that's the problem though. You're a coward, right? You're a coward. I was a coward too, and we're all cowards at some point in time. Like we're all scared of external criticism, but you got to be so dedicated to your craft, to improvement, to winning, to do your best value that you sometimes have to make decisions that your teammates won't understand in the moment.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
And you also sometimes have to do things that you go, this game might be lost, but you know what? I'm still going to get value out of it because I'm going to practice the right things so that I don't win this game, but I'll win the future games. Because as soon as you go to heal bot playstyle, not only is that a bad strategy, a bad habit, but it's also bad practice.
Yes. Yeah, I feel bad every time, and I'm like, I'm
exactly.
still doing it.
Exactly, because it's scary. It's scary not to, right? Like if I had pulled the plug in that coaching situation with Uprising Academy and scaled back reviews, simplified things, I might have opened myself up to criticism. We probably would have won more, and I would have been a wiser coach, and I would have learned a lot more. But I would have opened myself up to criticism, and that scared me. And the funny thing is that nothing changed. Like we kept losing, right? We ended up changing up the roster, and we ended up doing better, but. Less was more for me at that point in time, and I was too scared to do that. You know, It takes wisdom to understand the nuance there, and I think that that's something that you have to be careful with. So that's very normal. It's very normal to kind of lean into the healbot style, but that's why you got to go in and be like, I am just going to do my job. That's my priority. That's my priority. Whatever I can do. And when we're talking about your inconsistency, which is where we kind of came away from, I just had this conversation actually with the previous review where we talked about how inconsistency is a 2-variable problem. It's not just you that affects your inconsistency. It's also the enemy team. Because remember, what if the enemy team just has a really good game? You're going to feel like you're playing bad, but you're not. They're just playing really well. Maybe they're moving really well. Right. But see, that's the thing. Is like you don't think about that, and so then you lose confidence. Oh no, crap! I'm playing well or playing badly. Excuse me. No, you're not. You're not. They just had a good game. Or you had a bad teammate, or you got unlucky with a couple of moments, right? That's it. Just do your job. And the funny thing is I've so this is a true story. I've coached a handful of games where the student would tell me, yo, I picked this VOD because I feel like I played pretty well. Like I think I carried it, but we still lost. And I watched the review, and even if I considered their rank, like I was like, okay, this is a gold player, this is a diamond player, whatever. I actually think they played really badly. They just got really lucky. And yet they walked
Oh,
away from that game. They're like, man, I was the best. I was the best. And so guess what? They go into the next game with a lot of confidence, and they actually play pretty well because they're confident, right? But the funny thing was is they just got unbelievably lucky. Like they just the enemy team would just turn their brains off. And that's how fragile our confidence is that we're not perfectly logical. We don't always see everything objectively. And so that's why you shouldn't be overconfident and you shouldn't be underconfident. You should just do your job.
yeah.
Because your perception of your execution is probably not perfect, sadly.
Yes,
Does that
I
all make
agree.
sense?
Yes, it does. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Actually.
So regardless of whether you're having a bad day or a good day, don't worry about it. Just do your job. Practice what you're there to practice. And obviously that's what we're here for, is to find out what you need to be practicing. You say, improve my mechanics. Do you have a warm-up routine? Do you play just ranked, or how do you approach that? Because it sounds like you play a decent amount of Overwatch every day.
Yes. So I slowed down a little bit recently because I've been a little busy and I
Yep.
needed to catch up on my sleep.
Yep. Good for you.
Um,
Good for you.
yes. But my normal Overwatch routine is I try to, especially recently, I've been playing a lot less quick play.
Mm.
I've gotten back into it a little bit right now, but so how it worked is I go into Baxter maybe for like 5 minutes. Usually this is for like Kiriko, because I feel like even if I play other characters, I feel like I only really need to practice just hitting those kunais, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like everything else kind of aligns with, I don't know why, but practicing her kunais would help me with other projectiles as well, or if
I
that
mean,
makes sense.
mechanics is mechanics, right? It's not perfect, but stuff does carry
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Okay.
So
How
I
long do you
like,
spend in Vaxta?
I'd say for like 5 minutes. I used to do 15, but I felt like I was just kind of, it was mind numbing a little bit, and it's
yeah.
too
Yeah.
grindy. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of came to a point where I didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm like, 5 minutes right before rank, and I think that was good enough, because it was
Works for
like,
me.
but
Yeah.
so I don't deviate from it, don't overwhelm myself with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I do deathmatch before, like when I'm queuing in all
Yeah.
the time. I'm
Perfect.
addicted to. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. And then when you say that, like you talk about like your ranked quick play mix here, how does that generally shift, and when do you play ranked? When do you play quick play? Is it ranked first, quick play second, vice versa? Does it depend on the day?
It depends on the day and what I'm doing. So if I had a choice, I'd just be going into ranked. Like if I'm not like having like anxiety about my rank or anything, then I'm just pretty much like a ranked person. But if I
Mm-hmm.
see certain friends online, like I'll be playing quick play mostly. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep. That's always the thing. It's always social, right? I swear.
Yeah.
I was the same way. I freaking love quick
Yeah.
play with friends. That's okay. That's okay. I would say if you ever had your choice about when to play, you try to get your rank done first when you have the energy, even if it's just a game or two. But just use that as a guideline, and you don't want to make the game a chore. You want to make the game, keep the game fun, right? So
That's
totally
true.
up to you. Totally up to you. Okay.
Yeah, I have ranked friends and quick play friends, so it kind of works out.
Right.
I also
Right.
play solo too, so.
All right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So you said mostly Kiriko now. Now, why mostly Kiriko? And then where does the Lucio bat fall into that equation?
Okay, so it's a funny story because I was a Widowmaker. I mean, I'm still a Widowmaker main to this day,
Yep.
but I got bullied out of Widowmaker when I first started. So then one day I was playing Kiriko, and my brother saw me playing Kiriko, and then he just told me, he's like, dang, like, your Kiriko is like really good. And he
Ah.
said, just like, he said, like your Widowmaker's good, but your Kiriko is And then like I tried out, I started playing her, and then that's when I landed in bronze with her because I don't think I was playing her right, you know, because I didn't use her kit correctly and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But over time, she's like most hours, my character with the most hours, and I have so much fun playing her. Actually, I still play Widow, I still play my other characters, but some I don't know, something about like her her like her maneuverability. I like mobile characters. I like characters that have like have good break points against other characters, if that makes
Yes.
sense. But
Yes.
the
Well,
two
it's
pack got me too, you know?
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say the breakpoint thing is kind of a bad one
Yeah,
nowadays.
I know it is. It is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I liked the DPS aspect of her to a point where I became like a DPS Kiriko, and that's where I felt like I started having the most fun with her because I started deal botting with her, and then over time I even played her in quick play a lot just to get better. Then I started. That's when I'm like I only really if I had the most played character in ranked, it's definitely her. You know, it's like just the character I play, and like I'm like I have like a lot of hours on her.
Sick.
It's
Sick.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
where does Lucio and Bat fall in? When do you play them, or is it just almost never?
So Lucio and Bap, it was like Bap. I played a lot of Bap when I was like in bronze and stuff. They sort of came into like I mean Lucio is just one of those characters that I was like I always wanted to get better with, and I like I just sort of at one point I was like grinding Lucio, and he's just one of those characters I could just like you know pick if I was like for a team comp or for a specific map. But sometimes I'll play him in ranked. But I have some bots for that too, where I'm playing him
Okay.
in ranked. But then
Sure.
I sort of got off of him because I was kind of like I didn't feel like I was doing well. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that. Like success
It was
definitely.
difficult.
Yeah, of course, of course. Success definitely influences your desire to play a character. But if you ever would want to, you could. You could. It's totally up to you. It's going to be really your call. Okay,
Okay.
let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. So, goals. I'd like to get an idea of what to improve on and support you making win more games. How to get there. It feels like your understanding is holding you back. Now it's interesting because you talked about being again somebody who's relatively studious, has come in with new ideas to the game, and just feels like, man, I make so many mistakes. What do you feel like you're missing in terms of understanding?
So specifically with Kiriko or even Lucio, I feel like it's a positioning thing.
Mm.
I that's the thing I work on the most, but I feel like I struggle with the most is so I'm over here, but like I want to know, like I want to get in my head on how I can get through the best angle I could take
Right.
for whatever team fight. That is
Right.
just I struggle with the most, and even after I'm like, oh, why wasn't I over there? I could be over there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's just a mix of things as well. There's
Okay.
probably other things. It's,
Okay.
oh, it's also the matchups I get. So that's another thing.
So matchups. Now, was in the people you're playing with or versus?
It could be both, but mostly matching against. I have a problem with like Varas and Sombras, even playing Kiriko.
Uh,
Varas
okay.
specifically because I can't hit them.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a mechanic thing. I know they're in the air, but it's still. I feel like I could be able to do something. I just don't know what.
It,
Varas,
it,
I
it,
see
it,
a Vara.
yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of both. It's definitely at least a little bit of a skill issue, but it's also
Yeah,
going to be like, having a flying character and not having hit scan is always a little bit awkward. So that's not unusual. But yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll talk about your understanding with an emphasis on positioning once we get into the review. Do you have any other questions?
so far, no.
Okay. Do you want to get into
Oh,
review?
actually,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do have something. So I have a question on. Yeah, this is goes hand in hand with the matchup thing, but with actually, yeah, my team, with specifically like a support that I'm with that can't really heal that much, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
How
Mm-hmm.
do I approach my
Great.
pressure?
Great
How do
question.
I? Yes, that's a tough one for me.
You really don't change it. You really don't change it.
Oh,
Let me give you
okay.
an example. So if I'm playing Rhine with
Hmm.
Kiriko Mercy, and my Mercy is perma like sitting on my pharmacy. If I'm playing Rhine and I'm smart, I don't want my Kiriko heal botting me because she's not going to be able to heal as much as a Baptiste necessarily anyway. So what's the point? What I need my Kiriko to do is to start like taking DPS Kirikoing a little bit with the other DPS so that I can actually pin in without 75 trillion me people looking at me. That's how you heal me, is don't let them look at me.
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
if you do your job on support, then you will indirectly alleviate the damage pressure off of the tank that you should be healing. So you need to play to your strengths. Now, am I saying don't heal your Rhine? Of course not. Heal your Rhine. But don't sit behind your Rhine because, oh, we have a Mercy. I have to heal my Rhine. Because if you do that, you're never going to be able to heal enough to keep your Rhine up. You're never going to be able to.
True.
Play to your strengths. Don't worry too much about your team comp. Play to your strengths. That's the rule.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Good question. Any other questions?
That's all I have for now.
Okay. Do you want to get into the review?
Yes.
All right.
So I have two here. I could have three, but this one I have is on Circuit Rail, which I actually have a lot of trouble with.
Okay. Normal. Not a lot of angles here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Circuit Royale was the first map when I did the Kiriko guide, like a day after she launched. I sweated so hard to get that guide out. The Circuit Royale was the first map that I highlighted as being bad for Kiriko.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull it up right here. Yeah, boy, this is a throwback. Check this out. That's the. Oh my gosh, that is so old. That is almost 2 years old. Yeah, that was literally Circuit Royale. So.
Okay, I'm gonna send the code right now. If I do both of these, I start on Lucio and then I go off the Kiriko. I feel like
Okay.
it's like killing two birds with one stone with those.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you want to look at a little bit at the Lucio?
Yeah, the Lucio starts on Circuit Rail here.
Okay. Okay. So the thing that makes Lucio different than Kiriko, we'll just go ahead and cut right through the chase, is they function very similar in terms of like that aggressive off angles, like pushing the people. The difference is that with Kiriko, you generally take those off angles a little bit further away. Lucio, you get a little bit closer. The other difference as well is that Kiriko, if you get pushed, you TP out. With Lucio, if you get pushed, you just disengage with your speed and then re-push in afterwards. That's the big difference. So it's a range difference. And it's also a Kiriko has to fully leave. A Lucio just has to disengage and then try again, if that makes sense.
Oh, so not like fully committing to like one type of character, right? You're just going back and forth.
Yeah, just pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling. Right. And so you're going to have to try to find, so like the problem with what you're doing right now is this is Kiriko.
Yeah. Yeah. It does feel a little awkward.
You're just not super good at this, right? So then where could you go?
Probably closer to them in that building.
Yeah, you could work with your Sojourn here. Like if you were going to DPS Lucio, you'd want to do it here. Why? Because it's closer. Your speed, boop, damage, amp, all that crap, so much easier. So much better here. So much better here. And you could honestly, I would rather you sitting on main than this, yeah. Because this is just so unimpactful. Because the other thing too is like when you take these short off angles, maybe somebody goes with you and you can heal them too, right? So you're like, feels bad. Well, was he even aiming for you? I don't even think he was aiming for you. Wait, was he? Wait, he wasn't. He wasn't aiming for you. Oh my gosh, that's unreal. That's hilarious. Okay, that's unbelievable. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Okay, I see why you stopped, Kiriko. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Okay, yeah, I mean it's get up close. You get up close, and then even here, like you get up here, get your wall riding wheels on, get up here, get up in his face, knock him off of high ground, like just get on an angle. Yeah. There you go. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Waiting. Yeah, it's fine. Waiting. Yes. See. That's good. Okay, the only thing I would say here is I like that you're getting close. Just try to stay near cover, because if you get shot here, you're dead. The other thing too is if you get shot here, you're gonna have to literally run all the way back to your team. Whereas if you stay here, you're pretty close. You could stay there, and they distract you, disengage, and then try again. You know, just it allows you to stay there for longer, right? So I like this. This is good. This is good. Yeah. You see this? Yeah. Look at the chaos you're causing here. Look at the chaos. I want you to look at this from overhead. This is beautiful right here. Check this out. So first off, everyone's in a happy clump. Boing. Okay, so there you go there. Then they're like, crap. Ashe has to back up. Ashe coach guns out. Torbjorn drops turret. Torbjorn presses overload, comes after you. Overload fails, you disengage, exactly like we talked about, right? And then re-engage. Bam. Now Ashe chases you. So we got both DPS chasing you and you're still alive. And then Mercy ends up dying, and then you're fixing to go right back in and kill the Torbjorn. I mean, come on, man. This is great. It's good. Nice job. So you see the similarities between you and Kiriko. The difference is just the range with which you're applying. That's it.
Yeah, shorter offing.
Much shorter off angles, right? And this is why Lucio might feel bad on a map like this, because it is a little bit harder to find those shorter off angles, right?
Yeah, long sight lines.
Right. So you might either have to help the tank trade, or you might have to go for a deep flank, because otherwise, like for example, like right now, you either need to stand here and shoot tank and do this kind of stuff, or you need to go crazy, right? And just like go in the. Now I would probably just hold like the angle here and shoot tank, because like you just. But the thing is like you can't reach this, right?
No.
So this right here is Kiriko again. This is Kiriko again. You see this?
Oh, I see.
It's Kiriko again.
Wow.
Where you need to be here, or you need to be here, right? Right? Or if you are going to go for the backline, then you need to legitimately go like all the way around. Honestly, it's probably too late to do that now. But yeah, this is all Kiriko. And that's why it feels so bad.
That's something I wanted to ask you about, Lucio, is like that flanking type of thing. If I'm like on the backline, is that dumb?
No,
or
it's not. It's not.
Good feeling?
No, it's not. I mean, clearly, what just won you first point? Which you just did that. You just did that.
Oh, okay.
The problem here is like when you see like the Frogger Lucio, the reason why Frogger Lucio is successful is on maps where there just aren't really very good flanks. He's willing to go all the way into the backline and just distract and harass constantly, like a Sombra, really, right?
Yeah.
Here, I don't think you have to do that, because this angle is pretty good. Like you can get a lot done here, like with Lucio, right? Like there's a lot of damage here, there's a lot of booping and a lot of healing, right? But obviously that's not here. Not here. You'll get your head blown off, right? The only thing is that if you're playing versus like a Reaper or a Genji, you might actually want to play a little bit more like a Kiriko versus those characters, right? Because you at least have options of poking from a distance or getting up close, but you usually want to get up close. A Genji or Reaper, they're pretty much all close, right? Pretty much all close. So just keep that in mind.
So keep distance from those characters.
Right. For the most part, though, you get up close. Good.
Yeah.
Like you can see, when people are getting on top of you and when people are getting on top of your squishies, you're really good, right? That's why Lucio is so good at peeling, is when people get on top of somebody or try to dive your backline, they're getting close. Getting close is good for you. And so that's why a lot of times you see Lucio, good beat, Lucio is paired well, is because when you're getting up close and personal like you are right now, it's really good. I mean, look at this. This is great. Good damage, good healing, good support. And then now you got in the back line, and this Ashe is screwed. Right? You see that? You're phenomenal up close. I think you're the best support up close. Best support up close. At least over an extended period of time. Not just in terms of your damage, but in terms of like your ability to heal and speed and amp, and you won't die, and it's really good. Okay. Any questions so far?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let's watch a little bit more, and then we'll see some Kiriko, I'm sure.
Okay.
The big challenge I've seen here is that, like, for example, like right now, this might sound crazy, but you should not go back. Why?
Because they have a lot of distance. And
yes.
They have a lot of cover.
Yes.
It's up to them to kind of save themselves.
If you go to here, not only will you cross out into the open and probably die, but the other thing too as well is this is not better for you. This is, again, Kiriko, right? This is not the range you want to play with this character. So as scary as this feels, yes, of course it's risky to be here, but at least you'll do something. You might die, but you'll do something. You're not going to do anything over here.
More than they do.
Right. So this rotation here, this is better because you're now in a close angle again. But crossing in the open there, that was risky.
Yeah, that was.
In addition, I want you to, this is more of a micro thing, I want you to prioritize more amp speed when somebody's in trouble. Unless they're standing still.
Amp speed. To get to them.
Right here, your problem for you is lack of cover. Okay? Your problem is not lack of health. Because if this Ashe headshots you, you're dead. Okay? And healing's not going to stop that. But what will stop that is going zooming behind cover. Get to cover. So again, unless you're standing in the...
Amp heal enough, actually. I always amp heal.
Yeah. A lot. It's because you don't prioritize cover. You prioritize health. I will say, as you get in lower ranks, health is really important, right? Because people don't always hit their shots. But as you get higher in rank, and honestly, where you are right now, you should start amp speeding to cover when you need to disengage, and less about amp healing and staying in the same spot. Let's not say that's a hard rule, but it's something that I want you to pay more attention to, if possible.
That makes perfect sense, because why heal when I can die there? Instead of amp speed, I could spend less time in that time to kill.
Exactly. Again, you amp heal when you're standing still. But if you're moving, generally amp speed's better. This is fine. Okay, so this is fine. And then now, don't Kiriko angle, Lucio angle. Where would that be?
That would be somewhere to the left.
You got it. Just sit here, tickle here. Closer. Yeah, just a little closer, right? Just a little closer. It's not a lot closer, but it's close enough. It could be a distraction or harassment, right? Now, again,
I would go right.
Yes. Just a little too slow, Just a little too slow. You didn't get there in time. Yeah. You needed to distract people. That would have kept your Sojourn alive. You didn't? You did. And so now you're struggling. Again, this map is hard for Lucio, right? But there is a solution. Careful. Remember the same rule, right? As soon as you guys get back, I want you getting here. I want you pulling their attention on an off angle.
Distracting.
This is good. This is what makes Lucio unique. Very, very impactful. I think you guys lose this fight either way, but this is close. You see this? Much closer. You got in. I think this fight's lost because they've just used like an unbelievable amount of ultimates, but I appreciate the angle that you took there. It just took you too long to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Hang on. Nice. Nice. Get close, get close, get close. Oh boy, we're going in. I'm ready for this. I'm so ready for this. Again, you're getting close, right? And you're getting close at the same time as your team is fighting. You see this? Bam! This is good.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Look at this. This is beautiful. Ah! Okay, we're good. Get him. Find a target and lock him down. Get it.
Mhm.
I think you guys should win this. Probably would have stayed on the Life Weaver just because he was there, you know? But yeah, this is good. Telling you, I really like your movement. It's not perfect, but there's just so much more like proactivity and creativity than like the average gold Lucio. I think this, you're off to a good start.
Thank you.
Of course. Unlucky.
Oh, come on.
Wait, can you pedal people out of trap? I wonder if you can. I don't think you can you?
I don't think so.
I was wondering if your Life Weaver just didn't put the pedal far enough, or... Yeah, see, I wonder... I don't know.
Oh, maybe he could.
I don't know. That would be kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I would.
All right, let's get close. Where should you be?
Looking at this... Probably... Going into that room?
Where?
Or is there... Oh, you can't even go in there. So, it might be crazy, but, like, swooping around to the right?
Yeah, so all the way into their back line? Like around here?
Yeah.
That's the Frogger play. Yeah, you could do this. This gets you nice and close. You ready for another hot take? Ready for this? Go to your Sojourn.
Oh, yeah.
So now you're getting closer, and you're doing what we've called the +1. You've heard me use that term before?
Yes, where you're... Okay, so you're on they're 1v1ing, but if you're there, it becomes a 2v1.
Right. So this position is good for you without the Sojourn. This is just a little bit of a closer off angle. It's good. The Sojourn being there is just extra bonus, because now you can also heal the Sojourn too. It's a close off angle, and it's somebody there to support too. So you don't have to be totally selfish. Yay! Nice job.
Oh, nice.
You did it. You did it. And like, look at now, your Sojourn's getting chip damaged, but she's allowed to stay because you're there still healing, right? The only thing I would say there is keep a third eye, you know, on your HP and your Sojourn's HP. Oh, you did amp. Because like a little bit of a sooner amp heal on the Sojourn would have allowed her to stay alive.
Yeah.
Maybe that's okay. It was a good shot by the Junkrat, like unironically, but...
Then I was sitting on B. Maybe I could have used it.
Maybe. There wasn't really a whole lot going on. I want beat to either be used to counter an ult or when your team is like fighting. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, let's stop there. Let's look at some Kiriko. Do you play Kiriko later in this VOD, you said?
Yeah, I guess it was the second. It was the second more pushing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take some notes here really fast. Lucio. What are some goals with Lucio? It's pretty simple, right? I think we talked about really only 2 major things. What comes to mind?
So shorter off angles. No, he's not Kiriko. You know, I seem to. I feel like maybe I play him like I could play him like I do Kiriko, and sort of fall into that habit. It makes sense because it feels awkward. I knew something didn't feel right about it. And then amping up for speed for use of getting from cover to cover.
Yeah,
healing cover to cover, amp heal cover. It doesn't really help when I could just get out of there sooner.
Okay. Any questions?
From there, I think I'm good.
All right. Keep up the good work. Let's take a look at some Kiriko.
Perfect.
Obviously, again, not a lot of angles here. This is a pretty good one. Careful of your HP, yeah. And what I would do here is, I was gonna say, retake the off angle, right? Once you get a little HP back, go back and do it again. The only adjustment I would do is just be really tighter with your cover. Because I would say about half the damage that you've taken would have been avoided if you'd been playing a little bit crouched or even like holding the door frame here instead. Just a little bit closer to cover, right? Okay, back to damage. Don't give up the angle. He's fine. In fact, the only thing that will kill him is you not distracting Bastion. You need to keep this Bastion distracted. And now look at what happened to your DPS on an angle. You see it?
Oh, I gave up the angle.
they're by themselves now, right? It's like the Lucio with the Sojourn earlier, right? Like you needed to be there for her, and then now you left them. And so now you have to TP, Suzu, and your Pharah still dies. Oh, and you did no damage in the meantime, too. Hold the angle. Hold the angle until you get pushed out. Whether they shoot you or whatever else. Okay. Get her, get her, get her, get her, get her, get her. There you go. Good. That's okay. It's just you were down one, you did it too late. Like, everything is a consequence of that crucial error you made 25 seconds ago. It's okay. Let's try again. Now you got a little bit more space. So now we'll see how things go. Good. Get her back up. That's good enough right there. Now we go back and do damage. I like this. I like this a lot. So you kind of Kitsune for main for your team and your tank. And then you go back and shoot the off angle. And I'm not even joking. This is good. This is really good. This is very good. So now you can kind of do what you do best while also giving value to your team. This is good. This is a very smart ult. And you're actually still getting value out of the ult too. Don't second guess yourself. Stay on it. Stay on it. Right? Slow things down. Slow things down, right? You need them looking at you. I mean, this is like the three horsemen of the tank apocalypse, right? Nade, overload, and turret, right? Like, I cannot think of worse things to play into as Amalga, right? So keep them looking at you. Your Ashe just died to a headshot. That's it. You know, it's not that deep, right? Like, look at what happens to her HP. Check this out. Right, exactly. Bam!
It goes over.
It happens, right? It's a little bit unlucky. The only thing that's going to kill the Sigma... Close. I mean, you had the right idea. Just mistimed it a little bit. Takes practice.
Yeah.
All right.
That
damage.
Sigma one I'm still working on to this day.
Yeah, and see, then now you're getting sucked back into it. Like, I know this fight's lost here, but like the only way that you're gonna win this is like maybe to drop and try and get a gank. You know, try and get a pick. You're not gonna be shooting Sigma shift, right? It's not gonna happen.
No. No way.
Right. One shot, and you've done more than you have for the last 22 seconds. One shot. Hold the angle. Heal your Pharah. Okay, I don't know what the plan was there.
Yeah, no.
Break turret. Angle, 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 angle. Do you see what you're doing?
Oh.
Okay, so you ready for this? Ready for something? You're kind of doing a Lucio angle.
Oh, no way.
Kind of. Like, I'm not saying that, like, you know, hiding and ganking somebody is bad, but you have, like, a pretty nice sight line here, right? You could be spamming this rotation, right? Instead, it feels like you're going for this, like, really close angle, right? And, like, you know, we're fighting and, like, fighting, and then now you get your Suzu Force, and then, like, you could have been doing... Okay, so here's the thing with Kiriko. You've probably realized this since Season 9. With the loss of the 2-tap, it's more about you applying consistent, sustained pressure than having, like, these super, super big surprise gank one-shots TP out, right?
Yeah.
So I understand what you're doing here, right? This isn't a dumb idea. It's just not the most effective idea when there's free spam off-angle pressure that you could have had for the last 15 seconds.
Yeah, there's so much space that could take.
There's so much space. You could have been here. 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 Heck, you could have been here, right? You could have been here hiding and then poking them as they rotated up, right? There's so many angles that were available to you. And I think you went for the more like go for the quick one shot. And then now we're kind of struggling. Because now you don't even have an off angle anymore, because everyone's freaking critical permanently. Good Suzu. Oh, that's unfortunate. I thought the Suzu would land. That's alright. I don't think she was aiming for you. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't think she was aiming for you. No, she was not aiming for you. You and your Lucio, I think, just have an unlucky thing with the whole, like, accidental CC.
Yeah, being in the crossfire.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. The heal botting that we're seeing here is actually okay. Because you've had no opportunity to take an off angle in the last 15 seconds. Right?
So sometimes it's okay.
Well, it's okay. Well, let's put it this way. I understand why you're heal botting right now, because there's not really a good off angle, and every single squishy has been critical constantly. It's okay. It's all right. I'm mad that you put yourself in this position. Right?
Yeah.
Remember what happened here when we were like kind of stuck here and then we ended up just like slowly losing? That's okay. You did the best that you could. But what the frick was this? Why did you just leave this? So what happens is if you make a really goofy positional error, like you take the wrong angle or you don't take an angle at all, or you leave the angle, then you put yourself in a position where it's actually too late. It's too late.
The trickle down effect. Yeah.
It's too late, right? You screwed up. So this whole fight can just be basically described as you had an angle that just didn't work. Like you went for the assassination, didn't work, and then basically you end up having to heal bot for the entire run because there was no way to go back on the angle. It was over. Now you have a chance to fix that because now you have time. See, I don't like this. I don't like this. Right now, you have time, right? Like you have time here. You could be peeking here, or you could be again setting up here, or setting up here, right? You have time, right? You have time to do something, and instead you're just heal botting, right? This heal bot is not forgivable, right? Because you do have time and capability to set up, and you're choosing not to. Especially with a life weaver. That's all a life weaver does is heal bot, right?
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Good point.
You know? So so it's like heal on heals, and the problem with that is that more healing does not mean more one fights. Like you need to be doing something. There we go. This is what we were looking for. But remember the rule with Kiriko is like this should have happened a long time ago. I want to point out one other thing is as well. I want you to watch your red circle. Watch it carefully. What do you see? Just keep watching.
No cover.
No cover. What else do you see? Keep watching.
I'm getting closer and closer the more I'm not hitting.
Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching.
Getting a little too close.
Right. So remember the rule of Kiriko is like we want kills, but a lot of it's just sustained pressure. So what should you have done differently here?
Probably right next to cover.
Yeah. To be honest, sit
right next to that door.
Just sit right here, or sit right here, and just shoot.
Damn,
shoot,
yeah.
And shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. They throw an 8 at you. Suzu, shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. They throw you. You back off this way. And then you shoot and you shoot and you shoot and you just go and you 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 go. It's just it's like you know you just cripple them constantly for 10, 15, 20 seconds, right? Whereas here, you probably should have died, frankly. But also, if anybody shoots you, you have to Suzu and TP out immediately. Like I'm honestly shocked. I'm sorry. Like what is happening here? Like they totally ignored you. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. But they won't always do that, right? They won't always do this in silver, and they won't always do this in gold. Like 40, 50% of the time, they will punish you for that. I don't want this to work only half of the time.
Oh yeah.
It's a mess.
It did.
And the funny thing is it feels like because you're under so much pressure and stress, you don't even do that much damage. What is that? 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. That's only 160 damage. That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
You know, you could have done so much more there for so much longer and then still been close enough to teleport out as necessary. So even your Kiriko angles are turning into Lucio angles, but your Lucio angles turn into Kiriko angles, and you know,
What the hell?
it happens.
Oh my
It happens,
God.
and it's important to note why your Kiriko angles are quote unquote turning into Lucio angles. It's because you're pressing W or when you're shooting, right? You have that bad habit, and you're still kind of you have that mindset of like, I need to get that 2-tap. I need to get no, just headshots, headshot, 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 headshot. That's what you want. More consistent, sustained pressure.
That's the problem I have is if I'm not killing things, I feel pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like you're a major distraction off of that. You don't need to
Yeah.
kill things now. Okay. Let's see. Are we gonna set up for a Kitsune here? I believe. I like our initial setup here. Heck, I don't even mind this setup here. I think you could have stayed here. I think you could have chased this Torbjorn and flanked Kitsune rushed. I'm not even joking.
True.
Or chased the Mercy.
Oh,
Or heck, you could have wall climbed up Kitsune rush in their backline, right? And then drop down and then retake. Like, you could have been such a little rat. Kitsune rush this? For sure. Kitsune rush it. Kitsune. There we go. Took you a little long. Let it rip, right?
Yeah.
You might lose the fight because you waited too long. Good Suzu, wow. What's the mistake here?
I'm not going for a squishy.
You're not going for a squishy. You could shoot anybody that you want, and you chose the tank. Sometimes it's okay to shoot tank if that's all you can see, but you could see a lot more than that, and you're choosing the tank.
Yeah.
There we go. That's good. You make the adjustment. I appreciate it. But you notice again the same problem. It's the W. Watch your red circle here. Ready? You see it? It's right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. I'm being sandwiched at that point, yeah.
You're being a sandwich. You know the term. Okay, so let's take some notes. Kiriko, what do you need to practice with Kiriko?
Definitely one of the things is keeping my angles.
Keeping your angles, keeping and setting up angles consistently with a bit of range, usually.
Kind of comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's exceptions. Like if I'm playing versus a Widowmaker, I'm going to try and get in her face. You know what I'm saying? When I'm taking an angle. But for the most part, play like a medium range. Something like that. Okay, what else?
Definitely keeping my distance with a use of cover.
W on an angle.
Yeah.
Yes. Hold the angle plus cover for longevity. It's called the plat magnet. That's what I call it. No plat. Where you have this tendency to hit shots, we press W. Something ingrained in our psychology. Yeah. But yeah, it's something to be aware of. Okay, what else? That may have been it. I think that might have been it. I think it might have been it.
I noticed I have an issue with Suzuing myself too much.
Nah, but see, that's a symptom, not a disease.
Oh, yeah.
The symptom was that you were Suzuing yourself because you were pressing W too hard. And so you'd you run into a lot of crap damage. Because sometimes it's okay. It's okay to Suzu yourself. Like if you're on an angle and doing a lot of damage and everyone focuses you down, you Suzu yourself, that's fine. Because you're getting a lot of damage out of that Suzu, right? For you, it felt like some of your Suzus weren't earned. Like you just ran into crap because you weren't playing cover. And then, of course, you had to Suzu yourself. So never say, oh, I shouldn't have Suzu'd that. Well, ask why was that Suzu necessary? Then we have something. Because sometimes the Suzu's good. Sometimes the Suzu's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? I think those are the main two for me.
I think that was about it.
Okay. I would recommend practicing these things one at a time. Just continually, consistently holding those angles, applying pressure from those angles, finding the right range for your angles, not pressing W once you are on the angle. Don't try to practice everything at once. Just break it down to bite-sized chunks, one thing at a time, and go from there. Don't worry about your consistency. Remember, just do these practice.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the general stuff at the start. Okay, so any questions?
So if I'm not killing things, it's better to have pressure than just things that kill things.
I would not say,
That
why not both?
oh yeah, yeah, I could kill things.
I think the thing is that I don't want you to try so hard for a kill right now that you either kill yourself or you give up an angle immediately. Think about it this way. When you're on that angle, right? When you were on that angle when you pressed W into the Ana, you could have killed her. By pressing W into her, you increase your chances of killing her, let's be honest, by 20, 30, 40%, right? There's a chance. But you cut down the amount of time that you could hold by like 10 times. Like you had to leave pretty quickly. And also, you should have died like 10 times over, right? It's not that
Mhm.
I don't want you to not go for kills, but I want you to hold the angle and shoot and only push in when you need to finish a kill. Like if you'd
Yeah, I
hit
wasn't
that,
killing that on.
if you'd hit a headshot or two in that Ana and you needed to turn the corner to finish the kill, that's all right with me. It's all right with me. But in the meantime, hold, spam, 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 spam. Wait for an opportunity to go. Wait for an opportunity to go. Good question. Any other questions?
Uh, how would you say I should play into a far if I don't have hit scan?
Make the Farah feel useless. Don't give the Farah something to shoot at. Take your angles. Do get value elsewhere.
Oh
Whenever I,
yeah,
yeah,
somebody else.
whenever I lost versus a Farah, or as Farah, it's not necessarily because they killed me every time, but because I just didn't feel like I had a lot of things to shoot. Because they were all like
Mm,
flanking behind me and like killing my backline, and I couldn't reach them, and so on.
mm.
That's how you win. That's how you win.
Okay.
Just do your job. Again, it always comes back to just do your job.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think that's about it.
Okay. Good luck with your practice, man. All right.